Happy Death Day. Death Day is a new film out this week that has to do with, let's see, somebody who's reliving the same day over and over and over again. Stop me if you've heard this one. Stop me if you've heard this one. Stop me if you heard this one. All right, you get it. So, Happy Death Day revolves around a college girl who wakes up in some dorm room and goes about her day like normal and then ends up getting killed. That is not a spoiler, that is actually in the trailer. Then, weird shit starts happening. She starts reliving that day over and over and over again, and she has to try to find out who is trying to kill her. This film was written by Scott Lobdell. I can say right off the bat, I feel like he did a pretty good job given what he had to work with in terms of story. We've all seen Groundhog's Day. We've seen Live, Die, Repeat or Edge of Tomorrow. And I'm sure there's more floating out there where the premise of the film is somebody reliving same events over and over again. And it's not to say that Happy Death Day comes in here and just sort of rolls out the same carpet. But what happens is we see somebody, a filmmaker and a writer, like I believe his name is Christopher Landon and Scott Lobdell, and they sort of create their own identity to this whole thing. They install their own piece in the new genre that is reliving the same day over and over. This film is... I wanted to see it. It was intriguing. It intrigued me from the beginning when I first saw the trailers. And when you go into this film, I didn't have high expectations, but I wasn't exactly thinking it was going to be a dud either. So there were some small expectations to this film, and I think I think this film met those expectations. What happens with the beginning of this film really sets a tone for the entire movie. Right off the bat, you have some great posters in this dorm room talking about They Live or Back to the Future. Simple nods to some really creative science fiction-y films that maybe this film has a lot of respect for. Well, they have a lot of respect for. They put the posters in the film. But also that, it's... To me, it feels like they give a nod to the audience in a way that's like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Chris, the director. You're the audience. Let's get right into this. And that is a really cool thing. I love pop culture references inside writing or just as a visual in film. So I really enjoyed that starting off. Obviously, I feel like... the main character, Jessica Roth, does a really great job in this film. She is very lovable right away, even when she's kind of a, a B-word. But you get behind her fairly easy, and then we just go with her throughout the entire ride. The filmmaker, I believe, does a really great job giving symbolism and different nods, like I said, to the pop culture. For example, the first time she dies, you can see Jessica Roth as Tree in a white dress getup, blonde hair, definitely referencing Marilyn Monroe. And then they have that birthday song playing in the back and nice and slow, like she sang to JFK, I believe it was. So there's simple nods like that here and there, which is fun. Like, you get behind that as an audience, and it's cool. It keeps you invested, especially in a tale that's going to keep being retold. Which brings me to my next point. The reincarnations. Each time she comes out of her sleep, she comes back awake, and we get the same stuff over and over. Now, if they did the same exact stuff every time, we wouldn't really have a movie to watch. It would kind of be boring and bland. But what the filmmaker does so well is that they give you different aesthetics based on her feelings, the main character's feelings, right away. And There are some that she's disoriented, some she's just living her regular day. There's some that she's scared and frantic, and you get different lenses and you get different styles of her going through the same things every day. And obviously the editing where they're going to cut down on stuff that you don't really need to see, but you are aware of what's happening. Happy Death Day does a really good job at keeping you involved for each incarnation of Tree's character and what she's going to go through. And then it does some stuff that I don't really like.
Now, I applauded the writing earlier, but I'm going to go back and sort of tell you some things that I didn't like. Just when you think that the story and the writer and the director are letting you figure things out for yourself, they do that stupid mistake of telling the audience what's going on. You know, an epiphany, and all of a sudden she's got to blurt it out and let the audience know. It's so out of place and it does not work. Also, I am a firm believer of the fact that you should let your imagination run wild when you go into the theater. I'm all for that. But this is supposed to set in some sort of reality, a grounded reality where a girl is reliving this over and over again. A serious thing, right? Obviously can't happen, but some of the liberties that they take in this film, like her killing someone or punching someone, is just thrown to the wayside as, oh yeah, that would happen. And it's like, some of these things are, you can't really look past. It's kind of bad storytelling almost. And that really kind of grounds the whole, it grounds things from right there through the rest of the film. Look, the expectations for this film weren't very high. But, there's still film techniques being used to try to ramp this up, which I really, really highly respect. Happy Death Day is a film that if you thought it looked intriguing, go and see it without a doubt. If you thought, no way in hell, I'm not going to watch this, you'll probably be surprised. If you think this is going to be a great film, do not go. Because it's not a great film. It tries really hard. It is really aware of what's going on within the film, and it does a really good job playing through that comedy. But there's times in the film where you realize, okay, this is where they make a mistake, this is where they make a mistake, and you don't really want that. You want them to be subtle mistakes, if any, and that unfortunately hurts this film in a way that doesn't totally derail it, but it kind of kills the momentum that I had going into the film, and actually that I had throughout the film until certain points. One more thing, we've talked about it before on The Real Frame of Mind, about how a great filmmaker will not put something in the frame that they don't want there. I am very, very confused by the whole teen mom, Bayfield babies, the college mascot, being a baby, and, sorority life, the way they talk to each other. Like, I don't really know what the filmmaker is going for there. Now, I understand the theme of treat today as the first day of the rest of your life. Like, I understand that theme, and I get it. But I thought there was a little bit more going on with the whole scope of, baby mascot and teen mom always being on, and teen girls running around and having promiscuous sex and having affairs and stuff like that. I don't exactly know. I'm going to keep racking my brain. If you do know and you think I'm onto something, or you think I'm off the rocker, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Check out other videos, check out other reviews, and if you want to see Happy Death Day, let me know in the comments if you're going, and if you've seen it. See ya, I'm out.